All right, now that leads into what this looks like in real life. I have a client who recently just came into my office, and this is heartbreaking. In her main bathroom, the one she uses all the time, that's central to everything she does, she ran out of toilet paper. And she couldn't get herself to walk to the closet and put a new roll on. Instead, for over a week, she would use the other bathrooms because they had toilet paper in them. She didn't feel she was worthy of changing, of meeting her basic need to take care of herself and change the toilet paper roll. That's how devastating this becomes. Something as simple as changing a toilet paper roll, somebody can't do for themselves. That's how we are left in this codependent dynamic. Here's a couple stories from my life. I starved myself, and here's why. I was young and reaching into the refrigerator to get some cottage cheese. And as soon as I grabbed it, my mom screamed at me, "No, no, 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 that's for the dogs." Freaked me out. I put it back. Now, what my mom meant was she used the cottage cheese to hide the dog's pills when they were sick. But because she never explained it to me, here's what I heard. If you eat, I don't love you. If you eat, you're in trouble. And that means I'm a bad kid. And oh, by the way, in this house, we feed the dogs before we feed the kids. Now, did my mother say any of that? No. But this is what I talk about, how we've all been through abusive parenting. Because no one taught my mother that needed further explanation and things to be left with, I starved myself for years. The resolution I came up with was, wait a minute, if I don't eat, mom loves me. If I don't eat, I'm above the dogs. So here I was playing professional hockey, literally living off of ding-dongs and a Coke. I wouldn't eat. People would say, let's get something to eat. And I always thought it was because I would say, oh, I hate eating, it bores me. That was the false defense mechanism I created to get my mother to love me. And that's how I sacrificed my basic need for nourishment for decades. I didn't even realize it till I got into codependence recovery, that I was out of reality as to why I didn't like food. All right. Second story, about once, joy. I had no joy in my childhood, didn't even know how to experience it. And a perfect story came to mind for this was I was playing hockey and our team took a 3-week trip to Czechoslovakia, Sweden, and Finland. And on the days off or in between games, do all this sightseeing. Well, I have this stack of pictures that everyone else on the team took of the sightseeing they did and all these team pictures, and I'm the only one missing. That 3 weeks, when everyone's doing that, I would stay on the bus. I didn't go look at any of it. I had no sense of joy. I didn't know how to meet my need for joy, my want. I left that bus twice in that 2 weeks. Once I walked across the street, I think it was Finland. They had a museum where all their former leaders, they had their military outfits. And I just remember staring at one, glass encased, and there was a bullet hole. He'd been assassinated. That was the one excursion I did, which was walking 20 feet out of the bus, across the street. And the only other thing I did was Sweden. They had this big town square. And I kind of walked around and got something to eat. That was it. I had no ability to experience joy. That's very common for people who struggle with this. And that's why it's imperative we learn to pursue our needs and wants. So here are the questions I encourage you to ask yourself. 1, am I meeting my needs and wants? And if not, what plan can I put in place to begin doing it? Question number 2, make a list of all the ways you're meeting everybody else's needs and wants and begin doing that for yourself. Now, you'll know you're doing it right if you feel guilty, if you feel shame, if you feel selfish, and that the world revolves around you. That means you've probably moved into moderation. All right? So I'm encouraging you, feel selfish, feel arrogant, feel guilt, feel shame for how much you're doing for yourself, and you're probably, at the very best, you're probably being moderate, okay? So that's a great exercise you can use to begin meeting your needs and wants. All right. Question number 3 is make a list of the little ones, little things that bring you joy, and put a plan in place to start meeting them, as long as they don't sacrifice your needs. Question number 4, make a list of your big ones, trips, cars, houses, whatever they are, and put a plan in place to start pursuing that joy, as long as they don't meet your basic survival needs. Okay. And finally, remember, I talk about the falsely empowered codependent. If you're unaware of that, go back and watch my video, the 2 codependent personality types. I'll put a link here for you so you can go watch that. What they need to do is they need to stop doing everything for themselves and learn to begin asking for help. Remember, they're anti-dependent, they're arrogant, grandiose, and so they hide behind a wall of superiority and perfectionism and won't include anyone else in their process. And so they need to learn to do the exact opposite. And so they'll know they're doing it right when they feel weak, vulnerable, whiny. If it's a man, it's like, I'm a wussy. And if they feel very insecure and belittling, that they're just so weak, they've probably just moved a little bit towards moderation. That's how they should feel. All right. So there you go. I hope that helps you. If you think it'll help somebody else, please share it. Leave me your comments as always. And please subscribe if this is the kind of content you'd like to get. And as I always say, enjoy the journey.